What's up, everyone? Free practice 2 just ended only a few minutes prior to recording this. So let's take a look at the highlights and also an analysis of what we can probably expect for this weekend. So first thing is that right before the practice, in interviews, Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull, said that they had something similar to the Mercedes DAS system, maybe in progress for the car. And when asked if it was actually a system that was ready, but not sure if it was actually going to be implemented, Horners did reply that every system, like the DAS system, which is very complicated, needs to be thoroughly taught before going on the car. So maybe in Hungary, or maybe never. It really depends on how much of an advantage this gives other teams, meaning Mercedes. And speaking of Mercedes, they literally dominated both free practice session. FP1, FP2, Lewis Hamilton first, Bottas second by over 6/10 of a second over the closest contender. This is huge. Now, is this because of the DAS system, or did the team really make a lot of progress since last year? We'll find out more tomorrow during qualifying and also during the race, but it's already looking very promising for Mercedes. Red Bull, second or struggling? This is a little bit tricky. During FP2, both cars, Verstappen and Albon, spun and suffered oversteering. In the overall, after the second practice, Verstappen is only 8, while Albon did not do better than 13. They were closer in FP1, but again, it's not really what I want to look at. So are they in the mix, or are they going at the back? That's a very tricky question. We'll find out more over the weekend, but they do look strong. Just if you take bits by bits of the track, they look strong. Ferrari is a very big puzzle right now. Going into practice and into the weekend, they are expecting to be struggling. Charles Leclerc himself said so. They are not bringing any upgrades to the car, and they're even bringing almost a completely new car in 2 weeks in Hungary. So we don't really know what to expect this weekend, but so far it does not look great. Vettel did do the fourth best time during second practice, but Leclerc did not do better than 9th, and even during FP1, Leclerc did 10th place and Vettel was only 12th. So it leads us to questioning where they will be. They seem to be liking the curbs on the track. We've seen Vettel really running on the curbs and using a lot of them during second practice. But this is one team to keep an eye on. They don't have any upgrade, and they are expecting to be struggling. On the other side, Racing Point, very, very, very promising. During both practice session, Sergio Perez was in front of the Ferrari. So this is really something we should look at. I don't think anyone here would dislike having another team in the mix. Could Racing Point already this weekend be fighting for 5, 6, maybe even 4th, considering that Red Bull was not optimal during the 2 practice session? This is something to look at. Lance Stroll on the other side, nothing great. about 3 tenths behind his teammates, like we tend to see for the previous years. But still in the mix, he did 7th best during FP1, FP2, sorry. So keep an eye on Racing Point. They look like they could really be there this weekend. McLaren also look pretty strong. FP2, actually in both sessions, Lando Norris managed to finish 6th, which is definitely a good result for the orange team. Carlos Sainz finished 4th in FP1 and a little bit farther in FP2, but they look like they are in great shape. No major mistake on their part during those 2 sessions. So McLaren could be a team to watch. Renault, not much to say. 5th in FP2 and 8th in FP1 for Daniel Ricciardo. Esteban Ocon looks to be struggling a bit, but it is to be expected. He is back in the Formula 1 for the first time since a year and a half in Abu Dhabi 2018. So let's give him time to get accustomed again, and let's face it, he's also against Daniel Ricciardo, who's a great Formula 1 driver. So don't expect Ocon to be right away in the mix. But judging by Ricciardo's result, Renault again could be in the back this weekend. Haas, also a little bit puzzling on their side. Kevin Magnussen did a 9th place in FP1, but they were nowhere to be found in FP2. They were almost dead last in front of Williams. During FP1, Romain Grosjean only completed 6 laps because of a brake pedal issue, so they had to change parts there, and even at the end of FP2 we could hear him on the radio complaining about his brakes. So is this already a bad sign for Haas? Will they suffer mechanical issues this weekend? We'll see, but they don't seem to really be in the mix so far. Like I said, in FP2 they finished 15 and 16, so not a great result for them, and hopefully it will get better during the next few days. AlphaTauri also not really there. Their best result so far for the practice is a 12th place in FP2 with Daniel Kvyat. So maybe they will fight for 9th or 10th, but AlphaTauri, nothing really to say. Same for Alfa Romeo. They don't seem really to be in the mix. Apparently they did not work a lot on the car since Australia. It's pretty much the same spec as they had there. Their best result during practice, 14th place in FP2 by Antonio Giovinazzi. So again, probably not in the mix for this weekend. And finally, Williams starting again dead last, sadly. It is to be expected. They tried to improve since last year, but they need to work on the car. They found the key areas last year where everything was going wrong, and now they want to work on that, but obviously without any data from actual race events, they cannot do much. The good news is that they do seem to be closer from the rest of the pack than they were last year. At the end of FP2, George Russell was only about 1/10 behind Pierre Gasly, and even at the end of FP1, again George Russell only 1/10 behind the closest contender. Nicolas Latifi behind his teammates, obviously. It's his first race, first real Formula One experience. So I don't expect him to beat Russell this weekend. We have to give him time to get some experience. But what we can definitely take from these two practice sessions, McLaren is in top shape. Red Bull is there, but is the car a little bit too capricious? Ferrari, maybe behind Racing Point, and Racing Point could very well be in the mix and even fighting for podium if they have a good weekend. So that's it for this review of FP1 and FP2 happening just after the second practice session. I will see you again after qualifying tomorrow, and I just hope that you have a good day, be safe, hit the like and subscribe button below, and take care everyone. Thank you.